Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Home of Politics. I am Jemima, and we are talking today about the visit of the members of the church. These include the clergy, bishops, reverend. All these people were present at the Statehouse, and the president did it deliberately because he had his own agenda. The turnout in number was very high, and we just know this one is not a mere meeting. There's something that has been hidden behind it. But ladies and gentlemen, you can really be aware that what they discussed in the State House was not just a mere visitation. The president briefed this clergy about the project of renovation of the church in the State House. At the same time, he really emphasized on the development projects that are going on across Kenya, like the SHA project. We also have affordable housing. Some are completed, some are still underway. We also have roads and so many things that he emphasized. And so, my good people, you wonder what was the intention of him briefing the church leaders things to do with the development project. Yet we know this is pure politics. There is nowhere where the church and politics are interconnected, but we understand this as a strategic plan. And so, my good people, I was paying attention to one of the speeches that one pastor gave out, and I think he was taking his perception as one of the leaders who are pro-government pastors, or whom their church supports this UDA regime. And so here is the tip.
Hebu niulize tu wale wako hapa, ni kina nani wamesaidiwa na SHA? Mkono juu. Angalia. So SHA inafanya kazi. Lakini kuna bado watu wana uongo ya kwamba SHA haifanyi nini? Haifanyi kazi. Your Excellency, kuna coalition of bitterness, bitter people. Watu wakiwa bitter wanatengeneza coalition, at the coalition of bitter people. Ikiwa sasa wewe uko impeach, unatengeneza coalition nyingine ya bitter people, and then mnaungana pamoja na bitter people.
My fellow Kenyans, what you've just heard is not empty words. It means that this pastor is championing the ideas, the project, the politics of this government. And truly speaking, it translates to mobilization and things to do with political strategies, whereby through himself, through his church, through his congregants, and other people who are connected with him as a leader in that church, then they are advocating for this government. In fact, they are praising the president so much because he has just gave out the example of SHA system that he says it is working. And so he comes out condemning those people who are against this government, leaders like Rigathi Gachagua, whom he terms them as a bitter coalition of people who are going against what the government is doing. Actually, he is trying to address those people who are pointing out the weaknesses of the government, about where they are failing and what they are doing, and their promises that they do in, day out. And so, what does this mean? It simply means that the president has a strategy that is using through these churches, through this religion. He is weaponizing politics because he know, like, 90% of Kenyans are Christians, are believers, and at least they subscribe to a certain faith. At least they have a religion, or where they have to gather and they follow the rules of that place. And so through having or holding or through convincing their leaders, these clergy, these pastors, these bishops and reverends, it means that the information will be conveyed directly to the congregants, because it is like it is trickling down from top to bottom, because the message comes from the president himself in the Statehouse. It goes to the pastors, reverends, and other leaders of the church, and then from the pastors and these other church leaders, it goes directly to the congregants who are in the ground, especially through church sermons, especially through church gatherings, through other things that involves the church. This is how the information will be transmitted. It's not a bad idea because we understand this is pure politics. It is strategies for 2027 because we are aware that even in 2022, this president or this government used the church like 99% in their campaign. They used religion to weaponize their politics and they succeeded. So maybe they are trying to do what they did. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we understand that right now the relationship between the government or the politicians with the churches, some of them it has been broken. It is not working because we had different church leaders from different denominations condemning the act of the president building this issue of 1.2 billion shillings church in the Statehouse. Yet we know the Statehouse is a public land, it's a public property, and putting their structure using one's personal money is not allowed. Even constitutionally, he is not allowed to do that. But basing on what these other denominations are giving, it is like the president is doing it as an avenue of bringing in his own pastors, his own bishops who will be preaching in that church. We don't know if it is true, but according to the research and analysis that have been gathered across different people in the public, people do not support this issue of building the church in the Statehouse. And it is something that is very critical because the president have been called in different Harambes, fund drives to build churches, to donate money, and he has been doing so, but it has become very difficult for him to build church with his own money in the Statehouse. And so because other denominations are against building of this church, then it was strategic for the president to call those clergy members who will be willing to support his agenda of building the church in the Statehouse. And that is why they turned up in big numbers. Yesterday, they were together in the Statehouse. And so, my good people, what does this mean? Politically, what is the significance of this frequent meeting with the church leaders, frequent meeting with the members of the clergy? Like, they are doing meetings, they are consulting. Like, there is nothing wrong with the institutions of Christianity and churches or religion in our nation. Why should the president now become too close to the clergy or religious leaders? Why? It means that he has his own ambitions. And so the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, our president or our government knows that because almost 90% of the population of Kenya are Christians, they really subscribe to a certain faith, then capturing the church or religion and fixing their mind like they need to work together or they are doing the right thing, then this is how they will come to succeed again. This is because they are trying to amend the damage that they have done. Already people have a negative perspective towards their building of church in the Statehouse. And so to make this look like something that is good, something that is right, even if people are rejecting it, or even if the constitution forbids him doing it, then through calling these church leaders and they have accepted the issue of giving him support to build the church, then it means that he is right and he will go ahead building the church. This is just to tell the whole nation that if the church is on my side, who are you not to give me support? If the church is accepting me to do this and this, who are you not to support me? And so you should support what I'm going to do. If you don't do that, it means you are antichrist. Like you are not supporting what other Christians are doing, which means you are not a genuine Christian. And so someone cannot accept defamation, like you are an antichrist movement, you don't subscribe to true Christianity, and so that one will be a weapon. And so he expects us to support him because the church is on his side. The same thing he did in 2022 before that election period. like the church and everything. We saw the president visited different churches everywhere. Like there is no religion where he did not belong there. He went to Muslims, he went to Hindus. You could see him with the Indians. You could see him in different churches, those that are indigenous, those like Catholic. Every church he was present, and so the church is his strategic political weapon in this nation. We are seeing that very, very clearly. He is trying, secondly, he is trying to reaffirm that even if the opposition are condemning my governance, even if people are against me, but I am reaffirming to you that I'm still with the church on my side. This one is a Christian chosen government. It is a Christian based government, because if you elected me through Christianity, then frequent meetings with the church leaders, it means that he wants to give the church or Christians and other religions assurance that I'm still with the church. How? This is very important because we have just had that one pastor who have spoke something to do with the SHA, that SHA is working, and those people who are saying that SHA is not working, it means they are bitter, they want to tarnish the name of the government. If you hear a church leader just doing praising this government, he is giving out like his opinion in favor of the president, then just know that it is pure politics. It is not like he is talking like a person who don't understand what he's doing. And in very simple words, these pastors or these church leaders are doing politics for president for the future election. And so reaffirming that he has the support of the church, he still belongs to the Christian movement, then it is a clear indication that he wants to give the church the assurance that if I'm here, you can ask for any support because we are together in this. The same way he is expecting the church to give him support, and at the same way convincing their congregation to give him support. What do we call that? He is playing strategic politics. Finally, my good people, is 2027 campaign on has it start? Like, do we wait until that time for elections so that the campaign begin? It is no. The campaign is now, and through the churches, campaign are going on slowly by slowly. Because if you saw your church leader in the Statehouse, if you saw them taking photos with the president, if you saw them enjoying good meals there, it is not a mere meeting. They are arranging things in silence. This is a strategic campaign for 2027. Through churches, my friend, we understand that things will work for this government. How will this be? Will this be possible? We just say that from the president to the church leader or to the pastor, finally it goes down to the church members, from the church members through different sermons. Yes, this information will be passed across this whole congregation, and from next week, just listen to the ground. You will hear in churches people are praising the government so much, people are speaking positive things about the government and the president. This is because of the recent meeting that their pastors and their leaders did at the Statehouse. It is not wrong, but yeah, politics is calculations, and electoral mobilization is very significant. They are doing it in churches, in the schools, like in the tertiary levels, in colleges, TVETs, universities. They are mobilizing in churches everywhere. No one is being left behind in these electoral campaigns. And so these evangelical teams or Pentecostal churches are very many in Kenya. It has a lot of followers. Some of them just say they are Christians, but they don't know what to do with that. But as long as they identify themselves with that faith, they are just Christians. But ladies and gentlemen, we have not mentioned where these churches are very famous. Pentecostal and evangelical churches are very famous. 1, in Mount Kenya region. 2, Rift Valley region. 3, Western region. And finally, some parts of Coastal region. These are the places that Pentecostal and evangelical churches are very prominent. Guess what? In Mount Kenya, population is very high. In Western Kenya, population is very high. In Rift Valley, the same thing applies. This means that the president is going slowly by slowly to attack the churches, at the same time mobilizing this all population through the churches, through congregation. And because he has his own calculations, I assure you that the church will not deny President William Ruto, even if some of them, like this Reverend Ole Sapit, who usually say negative things about the president and the government. There are those pastors and preachers who will never utter a negative things about this government. Even now, they will never, because they know their mission is mobilizing and doing politics for 2027. What do you think about the visit of these members of the church to the Statehouse? If you have a different opinion, contrary to what I've just said, please share with me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.